What is up, my people? I'm back. That means I fixed my computer. I hope I fixed my computer at least. I've been having some troubleshooting issues, but hi. How you guys doing? I missed you. I really hope you're doing well. So clearly we know what this video is gonna be about. It's been very difficult, to say the least. Very unexpected weekend, as I intended. The 2025 Bonnaroo Music Festival down in Manchester, Tennessee. And what made this year for me so highly anticipated, so special, is that this was my 10-year anniversary of my first time attending Bonnaroo, but more importantly, the first time I ever attended a music festival. Period. The point in my life where everything changed. I wouldn't be here talking to you if it wasn't for this moment in my life where I had this epiphany where I finally found what I wanted to do, and when I didn't even realize that I could go this direction. I don't really want to get too far in tangent, but we are going to talk about what happened. My thoughts overall that the weekend has erupted, and the notions that have been just created because of this occurrence. So it's gonna be a long one. I really don't plan to do that much editing. It's gonna be very honest, upfront, and vulnerable video. So please be respectful. And I would really like to hear your experience if you also attended Bonnaroo this year, or in general, of where you think Bonnaroo is currently in this state. So where I'm gonna start, I'm gonna pretty much give my experience in chronological order, and it's so disappointing because usually what I do, if you're familiar with the channel, I like to do something called the Dream Experience, where when I first attended a festival, I like to do a full review and an entire landscape and dissection of what the festival has to offer, what makes the festival unique in its own way, and if it's right for you. And on top of that, if you plan to attend the festival, what you could do to make it the best it could be. And then after I attend a festival for a second time or more, it turns into a vlog. So this was inevitably going to be a vlog, when I was really, really looking forward to. But this is where we're at. So starting with me getting there, this was my 8th year, especially if we included since I missed out. I believe my 8th year, 8th or 7th, because I didn't attend last year, so I can go for an opportunity to make Governor's Ball in New York, which sucked, but I had to take the opportunity. I'm not a wealthy man, I don't get that much PTO time, unfortunately. I'm a normal person, so I had to take the sacrifice and to attend New York, which was certainly worth it. It was an amazing experience. And then if we count COVID and then the missing out of in 2021 with the hurricane that happened, so I was very excited to be back. Unfortunately, I didn't have that many people that were able to come or willing to come, as they are not. Some people are just not into the camping experience, which is understandable. It is very aggressive, it's demanding, and it can be brutal. It's not a pampered lifestyle, so I had no problem with attending by myself. This is my 3rd year going to Bonnaroo by myself, so I knew what to expect. I felt like I was well prepared, so I was still super excited, and I knew what was going to come with it, and I also knew that it would be worth it. So finally arriving, getting it to this point where we're finally arriving, the changes that I had noticed that I want to get off my chest. So it seemed like for some reason that the routing changed, which was kind of normal. Usually when you get to a certain point closer to Manchester, you're not supposed to pay attention to your GPS. You're supposed to follow the highway signs and follow them and tell you where to go. So oddly enough, it felt like it took me about in mileage wise, I'm not too sure, but like it was about an hour on top of me actually being near Great Stage Park, until you actually get to the gate, which it took me on Wednesday night to the East Gate. So that 8 hour drive turned into a 9 hour drive, which was something I didn't notice was a little bit unfortunate for the past couple of years. If it made it better for the staff, which if you happen to be a staff member for years to come, and I would like to hear your opinion about if you think this flow of traffic tends to be more beneficial and a lot more easygoing. If that's the case, and at that hour is an easy sacrifice, I would love to make it easy on you guys. But um, if it doesn't, then yeah, that sucks because then that's just like kind of wasted time. And it sounds like for some reason, from what I've been hearing, that the people that show up on early Tuesday call, it's also incredibly busy and it could be even more of a pain in the ass. And I've heard people have waited like a numerous amount of hours, which makes zero sense to me. I would have thought that if anything, you coming on Tuesday, it would be smooth sailing. You may get even a better location. It didn't really make sense, but that's what I've been hearing with some people. Again, if you have experience, let me know what your experience is in the comments, please, because it helps me understand to not just from my perspective about what I've been experiencing, but what other people are experiencing, and then this will just be better for us to come to a solution and we'll be able to communicate better with Bonnaroo and the organizers so they can improve on this. So finally get in, normal setup. I'm pretty much the farthest I've ever been. I'm in Plaza 11, which I don't care. I always expect to not have the greatest spot, like a very, very far spot. I didn't come there to sit on my ass, okay? I came there to shake my ass, and I planned to walk a lot, okay? So that didn't bother me. I know a lot of people are upset about that, and it's understandable. I mean, if you come there at an early time, you should be able to get the best spot possible, but especially with the tier list about what the parking thing, how it works, it seems like now you have to pay for if you want to get that better access. It's a little confusing. I don't really know how that works. It's a mess. I will say that I don't really care for that system that much. It doesn't really seem fair to me. I really do think first come first serve was the best option. I really thought it was just better. So it's hard to tell if this was better for the route control. It still seemed like, especially with the time I came up, it was really busy. We're flowing through pretty easily. I feel like I didn't, once I got to there, like getting close to the gate, it wasn't really that much of a wait. Okay, so I set up, ready to go. It's about maybe midnight, and I'm ready to enjoy the weekend. A little miscellaneous issue that I ran into. I guess I'll state it. I don't know if it's worth mentioning because I want to really make things significant points and valid issues that I think Bonnaroo needs to address and improve on. I guess you could say this is one. So when this moment when I'm ready to explore, what I like to do, especially for the content that I make on my channel, I like to explore the entire campground. I want to know what are the best places and what makes each plaza different, which I already knew the significant differences, but each plaza. But again, year by year, there's usually improvements, which Bonnaroo has claimed has been improvements. So I do that, and eventually I get near the front center gate, and I see a general store. I think, let me go in there and check out what's going on in there. Maybe there's something that I need. I think I was intending to buy bug spray, and I did find that. I did buy bug spray. And I also bought a small padlock for my tent. Later on, when I finally get back, I'm ready to crash out and just go to bed. I test the lock before I even use it. It works. It's a very small lock, a very fragile looking lock. I test it with both of the keys that come with. Everything is fine. So I put it on my tent just for shits and giggles, just to test it out even better. Even though I tested it out before, I just go down to the bathroom and then I come back. This thing will not open. I'm like 30 minutes in, my first 10 minutes, I'm like, okay, I'm tired. It's gonna open. Don't freak out. 20 more minutes pass by. This shit is not opening. Long story short, Bonnaroo was not willing to help me, even though it was their lock, and I was able to prove that I did purchase the lock from them that night. They were not willing to help me, but thankfully, thank the Bonnaroo gods that the actual people who were working helped me. The man at the medical tent, his name was Dan. Thank you, Dan. You are a rock star. You saved my night. He helped me with the little tool that he had. I was able to go and break off the lock by like busting the zippers. Night saved. Not that bothered by it. It was just inconvenient. And also, I think something that's a little bit to mention. It's like, how am I able to prove that this was the lock that I purchased from you guys and you guys aren't able to open it for me? They were literally asking me to call a locksmith, and the locksmith was like, all right, buddy, $75. I'm like, no. He's like, well, I don't work for Bonnaroo, so that's what it is. I'm like, I understand, but like, what the fuck? Like, no. Okay, so not off to a great start, but I was not gonna let this ruin my entire weekend. Of course, it's stupid, and we got it fixed, so it's whatever. The next day with Thursday, I noticed some of the things when I got to walk around with the plazas and really study mine, which was Plaza 11, which is the farthest back plaza that you can get to, it seems like, and not counting Plaza 9, or I believe it was Plaza 7. I would say Plaza 11 definitely felt like what unfortunately felt like the peasant area. I don't like to call it that, but this is the reason why I call it this, because it wasn't as glamorous. Plaza 10, that was close to it, they're the ones who had like really nice stuff following, and along with the other plazas that had something really nice included with it, it was just well decorated and managed. It just felt like a cool place to hang out. Plaza 11 felt like the dump of the entire campground, which is unacceptable. Okay, I don't need to have downtown Rue kind of accessibility and options and production value. I don't need a yes tent there. I don't need I just don't need anything too crazy over there, you know what I'm saying? But like the bare minimum should be in there. I noticed about maybe around 1 o'clock on Thursday. Sun's out, it's hot, okay? Thankfully not as hot as it could have been, but it was hot. The water wasn't working. Big problem. I have never seen that happen ever in my experiences with Bonnaroo, my eight visits to Bonnaroo. I never ever experienced that. So it was really disappointing to see that happened. I really couldn't believe it. So that was going to be something that I mentioned in the future with when I made my vlog, as I was ready to write up the cons, including the pros. So that was something that really bothered me. Thankfully, I thought Thursday was absolutely amazing. It was so thrilling. It was one of the most memorable, beautiful nights that I've ever had at Bonnaroo. The love that I felt, especially when exposing myself and wearing my Palestine gear. I knew I'd be safe. I knew I'd be accepted, but it was even better than I thought. And that's what even made it even harder to leave. Let me wait to get to that. So let's talk about another thing that I thought was an issue that that was new to Bonnaroo. That's the Infinity Stage. Based off what it was advertised, it was supposed to be this 360 spatial surround sound experience that they claim was like no other before. So I'm expecting like, okay, like they're going EDC Vegas ambition wise, like they're trying to really amp up like what you can experience, which I already thought that these small improvements, especially when they're making towards the other stage, they're doing really well at making it feel like a real electronic festival, like in that land, in that part of the land, especially when you go to the other stage, like it's starting to feel like, yes, this is like real electronic etiquette. Like this is really going along with the aesthetic and really trying to follow along with what we see with these big time promoters and Insomniac, what they're really going on and what they're producing. So they're trying, and it seemed like with this, like they're trying even more, and I was super excited. I think everyone could agree before we even got to see it. It was exciting. And then we see it. When I first went there during the day, It was pretty enthralling just because of the DJs that were on there. I thought they were great, and I was getting close to like where the setting was. So I'm like, ooh, this might be really cool coming to later at night when it gets dark out. Later on, and go there for Rebecca Black. It's so packed that you can barely even get close into there, and it really feels like it's only relevant when you're inside those circles. It just felt like it was false advertisement. Like it was total blue balls. Like it really wasn't that nuts. Like there was some things with the visual aspect in there that I thought was impressive, that I really did like, but overall just did not execute what it promised. So, and the thing that's really so upsetting because that's where the money went towards. This was the first year where we didn't get any goodies. Every time when you buy a ticket, you get a shipment full of goodies, and it's like it's just a very endearing thing to give to the attendee. Like I think we can all agree that it was something that we really appreciated. There was things that they gave us that were really useful and really cute and well crafted. Like it was great. It was something that made me feel like, hey, like we care about you guys. Here's a little care package for you to get excited. And they told us that we weren't getting that this year because they invested a lot of the money into the Infinity stage. Okay, if it was as cool as they said, I was bummed out. But hey, if it was as cool as they were implying, okay, money well spent. It wasn't. I have to be real with you. It was just it could have been way better. It could have been way better, and it just wasn't. And I'm hoping, if anything, they improve that. Or I don't know, man. Like I think at this point, I'd rather have the Who stage still there because I had more of an enjoyable experience every time I got to go to the Who stage and experience somebody that was an upcoming artist. Hands down, I had way better memories doing that. I think a lot of people could agree too that it felt like diminishing for them to put it out in the campground. So it's like, okay, how are these new artists even going to be experienced then? So I didn't like that decision overall. I really don't like that the Who stage was put into the campground, and I didn't really get the chance to really see if it was gonna be well utilized throughout the weekend. So that was another thing that was really unfortunate about it. Just really felt like it at this point, if this is where the money's going to, you might as well had invested it into like safety equipment or even just weather prevention gear, which is definitely what we needed. So Thursday ended. It was beautiful. It was it was insane. It was an amazing night. It was I think everyone could agree that like because of this preview that we had, and especially this was my first. I know last year this was the first time where they're actually opening up the main stage, the what stage, on the first day. Usually they don't do that; they have it closed, but they had it open for this one, and it was sick. It was sick seeing Luke Combs there. Luke Combs was everything that everyone had ever like recommended and told me about. That I could not believe every time that man spoke and sung. I'm like, this man is not using any layering. You're telling me this dude is going in raw? Like he sounds just like how he does on the tracks. It was mind-boggling. It really was just an incredible experience. One that like assured me that Luke Combs is that guy. So hats off to the people that recommended that. I would have seen him anyway, but my God, that was outstanding performance. So again, we're jacked up on this. We're super pumped, and I'm even clocking out a little bit early. I'm going to bed. I'm leaving Centeroo at like 1 a.m. because I'm like tomorrow and the rest of the weekend. I'm gonna want to be up till like 3 a.m. or more because of what's gonna be added onto the lineup. So I'm gonna get some good rest. My foot hurts. I'm gonna make sure I'm walking properly for the rest of the weekend. And then I just went back to my campsite, clocked out. Everything's going really well. I just really love my setup, but let me not banter about that too much. So getting into Friday. So wake up. I don't plan to go in there till Rachel Chiniriri's set, which is about I believe at 2:30. I'm getting ready. As I'm about to get ready, they close Centeroo and have people evacuated till the storm goes by. And this is where stuff gets to get really, really messy on the organizer side in terms of their communication with the entire festival. I don't even think it sounds like it wasn't just with the attendees. It sounds like it was with the entire staff. It sounds like it was with the law enforcement. Based off what I was hearing, it sounds like there was little to no communication with anybody who should have been communicated with pronto, ASAP, constantly. So that wasn't there. And I think a lot of people at a certain point were getting a little bit discouraged and scared. I certainly was, but the thing is that like I was getting a little bit more hopeful because uh I thought it was just because my internet was out. I think a lot of people didn't really have internet, so we're getting these text messages about these updates, and they're like, I think at like 2 o'clock, 2:30, they're like, we expect the storm to be around and cause an issue for at least 2 hours. So I'm like, okay, it's a bummer, but like, if we get in there at like 5 or 6, even 7, that's gonna suck. But like, I'll be able to see John Summit, so I mean that'd be pretty sick, and Tyler the Creator. So I think a lot of people agreed that like we were really really excited for John Summit. Of course, I wanted to see everybody else. I wanted to see after Rachel, but you know, optimism. We're trying to be optimistic at this point, all right? We don't want to think negatively. This is Bonnaroo. Negativity is not allowed, okay? So we're all hoping for the best. And then for me, my app, I tried to download the app, which I thought I already had on there, but it must have deleted itself on its own. Halfway through my drive, I tried to download it. It didn't download, so I guess that was another source of how people were getting their updates. So for me, I'm only getting that last message for the being like at least 2.5 or 3 hours of what they're claiming for the storm to go by. That's all I'm getting. So, you know, I'm chilling for a little bit, but at a certain point, I'm like, okay, we might not be able to go in yet, but like, where are the updates? Like, I'm not getting anything. I'm not. Is anybody getting anything? This is when I start to get up. I think a lot of people were like monitoring the weather ourselves. And after the storm was going by for a while, we had a little bit of some drizzle here and there, but we were seeing that. We were seeing the sun. We were getting that life back. And I think a lot of people were also getting ready, as did I. Dude, I had my cotton candy dream outfit on. I was so ready to boogie in that shit. Let me not get too deep on that, but I'm ready to go in. But it's getting to a certain point in time where I'm like, why are they not saying anything? So I leave the campground to go towards where most of the traffic is at Plaza 11. Oh, and by the way, in the morning in Plaza 11, this why I think that we're like the peasant area. The bathrooms were backed up. Like, they were not flushing on the men's or the women's side. Still, I've never seen that happen in all my years going there. So it really bizarre, really, really odd. Okay, doesn't really help on the side of where the organizers are and if they hired enough people. Definitely did not hire enough people to tame the maintenance of Outeroo. So I go out. I'm just filling up my bags. Like, I'm filling up my shower bag. I'm getting water. I'm making sure I have water at the campsite. I'm like, I'm gonna make my time useful. Like, I'm already just chilling. I watched a movie while I was at my campground and I ate enough. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get some water. At the same time, when I'm gonna go get some water, I'm gonna see what's going on. Right when I'm about to get some water, I hear somebody who's passing by is about to go to the bathroom. He goes, "Did you guys hear? They canceled the rest of Bonnaroo." I'm not even listening to what this guy is saying. I'm like, you're delusional. Like, that's not true. I have no internet, so I'm like looking around, pleading for people. I look to the guy next to me. I'm like, do you have internet? Could you do me a favor and confirm what he's saying? He was saying that they posted it on Instagram. I'm like, that sounds super unprofessional. Why would you post it on a social media account where most of us don't even have a connection in this freaking place? So he checks it. It's true. I'm still in denial, so I'm at the point where I call my mom. I'm like, can you open up your Instagram account and confirm with me that the rest of the weekend is canceled? And she said yes. And that's when disaster started to spew. I very, very shocking and painful moment for that. So I walked back to my campsite. I talked to my neighbors. I'm like, I'm still not believing anything. I'm like, can can you guys confirm me that this is real? And they're like, yeah, this is real, man. And it's like, you might have just got a text message right now. And I did. In that moment when one of my neighbors said that, I got a text message saying that they couldn't do anything because of the weather that day and the weather to come, that it would not keep the conditions safe. So I think at that moment I packed up and I drove back home. So now with the next phase of this, what was the problem for this weekend? A lot of people are pointing at Live Nation, which is justifiable. We know how much of a reputation at this point Live Nation knows. If you don't know, just look up the Astro World tragedy. That should tell enough. And also, they're a big corporation. Their agenda is to make money. If you don't believe that, you're delusional. So, is that the problem? I think a lot of that depends. If we talk about this year, I think that can definitely add up. It seems like they did not hire enough people. If anything, they cut back on that. So they can not only profit more, but invest into some other things. It didn't seem like they're investing into the right things. Communication definitely seems like it was on the organizer side. And just overall control. And yeah, it was... a lot of it is definitely on Live Nation, in my opinion. Do I think they made the right call? Yeah. We've seen what Outeroo and Centeroo looked like later that day and for the rest of the weekend. I know people were upset when they woke up Saturday and they were like, look at it. It's so beautiful out. I'm assuming you guys seen the results of the rest of the rain that came that weekend. Okay, it would have been a disaster. It wouldn't have worked out. So yeah, I do think they make the right call. Thankfully we're getting a refund, a 75% refund. Again, I know people are upset about that. I'm upset too, but like, what can you do? Like, I think there could have been a situation where we didn't get a refund at all. So I think we have to be somewhat grateful for that point. We did get an amazing first day. If you didn't have an amazing first day, I genuinely feel sorry for you. Like, not to be... I'm not trying to be hurtful or mean. I truly mean that. Like, I feel so sorry for you because that first day felt so special and intimate for me. I felt the warmth and the beauty and the love from Bonnaroo. It was overwhelming. It was beautiful. So, but I think we have to look at things that are also important. So we do want to put all the blame on Live Nation, right? Fair. We have to pay attention to when they actually had full ownership. So they, at 2015 is when they started to own, I believe it was either the majority of the shares or at least a lot, maybe like at least 60% of the shares, if I'm going to guess. 60 to 75. That's my pure guess. Since 2015. And if we look at what has changed since 2015, there is a lot that's been changed that I think is ultimately benefited the festival. If you've been there at that time and before, think about how the campground was. Think about what they had to offer in the campground. There was no showers. There was no integrated bathrooms. There was not a lot of accessibility. There was not these fun plazas where you can go hang out at. If anything, they're just there just so you could get some water. There wasn't a lot there. There was nothing really. There wasn't really that many areas besides downtown Outeroo where you can even go hang out and party still. It wasn't there. So over the years, we have to think about what we got. We got those insulated restrooms. We got showers. We had the accessibility. We had the jam track, which I still haven't really got to test myself. I wanted to believe that it was more efficient this year. I didn't get to check that out. Friday was the day I wanted to see how more efficient and improved this was, because when I first seen it in 2023, the waits were kind of pointless. Like, if at a certain point when me and my friends were waiting there, we're like, okay, this is wasting so much time. I'd rather just walk to the front gate at this point. I was hoping that that changed. So I didn't get to test that, and that's very disappointing. But we also got We're in the Woods. We're in the Woods is amazing. It's fantastic. I never had the experience of Bonnaroo where, like, the moment you're done setting up, there's DJs playing over there right now. Like, big name, popular, alluring DJs. They're over there right now, and they're going to be playing all night. You can go there right now. And you can go there throughout the entire weekend. It's a non-stop party. And the setup over there was amazing. So I think we have to acknowledge that there has been massive improvements since 2015. And then even when they gained the majority of the shares in 2020, there's been a lot of improvements still. A lot of good things going for Bonnaroo. I don't know if we have to give Live Nation all the credit. I have no idea. But if that's who's giving them enough of the money, which that's supposed to be how it works, right? They gain a lot of the money, but they also have to put in money. I think they have to be credited in that aspect. Somebody does. Somebody does. So if there's been a lot of this chirping about people saying that they have absolutely killed the festival ever since they had the majority of ownership, or just ownership in general, that's just not true. That is just 100% not true at all. There's been some things, especially from this year, that we can look at. Big problem. Big problem. But if we look at the outlook of since 2015, in 10 years, it is drastically improved. And we have to take this into account. I took a screenshot of this to make sure that I didn't get this wrong with the statistics. So when I first went in 2015, 74,000 attendees attended that year, right? 2016, 4,500, a drastic change. So, and then we go from 2017, 65,000, 2019, 80,000, and then 2020 and 2021 unfortunately canceled. So then 2022, 40,000. 2023, 85,000, and then 2024 was 70,000. I'm not seeing anything about how many attended this year. I would assume it's somewhere in that same range. It was a lot of people I was seeing, so that is also something to really take account of. So if you're going off of your experience in 2016, well, yeah, it was so much better 2016 for you because there was a lot less people. You don't have to deal with that many people. So we have to think about all of these variables. Again, I don't want to defend Live Nation. I don't want to defend any corporation, okay? I care about Bonnaroo. I care about my Bonnaroovians. That's who I'm here for. But at the same time, a lot of people are blinded by their rage. And there's just people who have, this was their first year, and they have the audacity to say that this festival should be shut down. What are your reactions to that? What are people like me? How are people like me reacting to that? I could be saying the most gross, grotesque, mean things to these people. They could say I could say they don't know shit. They this and that. How could you wish this upon us? This is our happy place. This is the place where we get to forget about life, about reality. We get to be in this utopia together. We get to love each other and dance under the stars together. But this is what I'm going to tell you instead. I'm going to tell you to come back. Come back to the farm so we could teach you how the Bonnaroo culture works, what Bonnaroo is about, and how it could change your life. It changed my life for the better. I don't know where I would be if it wasn't for Bonnaroo. I definitely wouldn't be alive. I don't know at what point, but I definitely wouldn't be. I don't even know if this would be, if I would have found out that this is what I wanted to do. I have no idea. So I'm understanding of where people are at with their frustration. You lost a lot of money. You lost a lot of time that you put in, that you earned. So did I. So did everybody there. It sucks. It killed me having to leave you guys that soon. It killed me. Can't bear the thought if Bonnaroo does not exist anymore. I can't. That's what I'm most scared of now. I'm hoping it's just hysteria. I'm hoping it's my anxiety just playing tricks on me. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are thinking the same thing. But what I want to end this off on is I want to let you know, to the people that are really, really hurting, that are grieving over what happened last weekend, you are not alone. I feel the same way. That drive back, it didn't feel real. I've never been that scared and anxious and sad. Every time I make that drive back overnight over the weekend, it's tough. I do it all by myself, even if I'm with people. It's tough. 8-hour drive in the dark. But it's always so worth it because of the weekend that Bonnaroo gives us. And this was the first time where I have just felt petrified. When I got home, I couldn't do anything but sleep. I couldn't eat. I couldn't really put in the work to fix my computer because I found a new issue. I fixed my computer before I left, and then when I came back, I found issues, and I was sick to my stomach. Nauseous. Real grief-like symptoms. Whether you think that's ridiculous or not, you don't understand how much people like me love Bonnaroo. You don't know what it is to us. So please be kind and understand that some of us are hurting bad right now. And we're going to be hurting for I don't know how long. It's a day-by-day process. I'm sorry that this happened to you. It wasn't supposed to be like this. It's unfortunate. We can blame people all we want. Inevitably, there are people at fault for certain things. But there was nothing that we could do. This is how it needed to happen. So I encourage you, if you really love this, if you want this to stay alive, do what you can to communicate with Bonnaroo of what should change. They're saying that they're listening. Okay? You can comment all the hate, all the nasty bullshit, all you want. It's not going to do anything. If you want this to be fixed, we have to plead about what needs to be fixed. That's it. And that's all we can do. We are all in massive pain right now. Robbed from a weekend that should have been one to remember for a lifetime. That's exactly the expectation that I had for Bonnaroo 2025. Just take care of yourself. Be hopeful. And just suggest things that should be different. If I were to suggest something that I think should definitely be changed in the policy, since we knew about the weather before we even came there, I think that it's valid to consider postponing or canceling the festival before it even starts, even if the weather hasn't even hit yet. If you're getting that guarantee of a wavelength, it probably would have been better for them to cancel before. They still made the right decision in that time, because if we stayed there sooner, it would have been way worse. Even though it was bad for a lot of us, bad for a lot of people who had their campsites flooded, and the people who got their cars stuck in the mud, People had to wait in lines for hours. It still would have been so much worse if they would have waited even longer. I think it would have been better if they canceled before we even got there. I do admit, I think that would have been the better choice. Even though I'm so grateful for that first day. I'm grateful for the people that I met, the love that I received, the love that I've given. I still think it would have been the best choice to not have us come there. That way we could reserve our time, our energy that we put into traveling. It would have been a lot better. So I would say on that point, that's what I would suggest to Bonnaroo. Then maybe have that enforced to like in preparation. Like, yeah, we're going to have bad weather coming in the week. Is valid. Either they can cancel it or they can give you the option if you want to refund your ticket. I think it'd be probably better if they just cancel it at all. But you know what? If they do the bare minimum, just offer the individuals like, hey, we know about what happened before in the past. It doesn't look that good for this weekend. It could be okay, but it could not be. If you feel uncomfortable, we'll offer you a full refund. I don't think that's a bad idea. And do not say that your insurance covers that when you put on there, because it doesn't. It covers if you have certain instances of like family issues, if you're injured. And yes, national weather does affect that, but only when it's actually affected. When it's in the midst of it. That's when you get your refund. It's not a thing where when you pay for your insurance and you could just clock into it and say, hey, this is that. No, that's not how it works. You still got to prove whatever the issue is with your insurance. You can still get your refund. And I think at this point, it'd be smart for everybody to, if you're not already, always add insurance to your ticket. But that's the only thing I would suggest. Take care of yourself. I'm going to be making more content related to what I've been normally doing in the coming week. We just got to hope for the best. Stay together. Love each other. And hopefully I see you guys next year. Happy Roo.